Good morning, team. Today is October 25th, Tuesday. Looking at the overall market, or we're looking at Apple per se. Apple does have earnings this week. It is a major earnings week, so we want to see what stocks are going to perform this week and how we could basically profit from either the upside or downside from these stocks. So looking at Apple on the 180-day 4-hour over here, you see Apple has been pushing up. It basically had a nice little bounce from 141 to where it's sitting right now around 150. It's above that 200 SMA over here. We're above the EMA over here as well. We want to see how we are going to hold above it or if we sink below it. So right now it's finding some type of support. As you guys know, this SMA line, typically when the stock is above it, the stock is more in favor for a bullish trend. And when it's below it, stock is more in favor for a bearish trend. Right now, we're trying to hold above it. So we want to see if Apple breaks out from that $50.30, and then we can start pushing up towards the previous high of 153. You can see 153 was a previous resistance before, so watch out for that area as well. And then also watch to see if we break the estimate and the trade line around 147, and then we could basically start pulling down towards 144 and maybe even a lot lower. So let's see what happens. RSI is a little bit more on the overbought side. MACD does look like it wants to cross down, but we are above this level. We could go sideways until the RSI resets itself and we look to bounce from there. Looking at the 20-day over here on Apple, you can see the 20 days a little bit more on the overbought. Looks like the 20 days already crossed down, so we may get a possible pullback on Apple today. Next stock we're going to talk about is Meta. So Meta actually announces earnings soon as well too. They actually announce earnings tomorrow, so we want to see how they're going to overall perform, especially since this overall downtrend they've been on. So Meta has basically been on a downtrend with a high of 236, and now we're sitting at 122. And we want to know, actually, investors want to know how the stock is overall going to perform in the future, especially since they're trying to switch their focus to VR, and they actually have a new VR headset coming out as well. So let's see what happens with this stock going into tomorrow. I believe they announced tomorrow after hours, but if you want to trade it today, we have a resistance zone at 132. Once we break that, we can start pushing up towards 137. And then we have some type of support going on around 128. Once we break that, we could possibly trend down towards 122. So overall, let's jump over towards the 1 year because a lot of people are anticipating this earnings over here. We're at 1 year lows. And then even if we go to the 5 year, we're at 5 year lows. So Meta is not really doing too good right now. And we want to see how overall this stock is going to perform. Comment below what you guys think. Are we going to bounce or are we going to make a new low on Meta? Next stock we're going to talk about is Tesla. Tesla actually already reported earnings, and it wasn't what was expected from the company. You can see they basically dropped and started going lower and trending sideways right now. So whenever you see a stock go sideways after a drop, it is a sign of support, but it doesn't have to mean that. It just mean that there's an equal amount of buyers and sellers, meaning that's why we're going sideways. So we want to watch to see if we break above that SMA. SMA sitting around 214 over here. So we want to see if we get above that 214 zone. Once we start to get above it, we could start basically pushing up towards the 1 year, which is 223. Or if we come down again, watch for 206, down towards 201. MACD is basically parallel with the trigger line over here. So we want to see if we're going to basically cross down, make a low, or head towards that SMA on the 20-day. So let's jump over towards the 180-day for more confirmation. 180-day is slightly crossed up. RSI has the opportunity to do both on both of these charts. So we want to see what's going to overall happen. And as you can see, that SMA is basically keeping Tesla lower. This is representing that 20-day SMA. Let's jump over towards the 1 year on Tesla as well. 1 year is basically holding that trigger line as well, a little bit more on the oversold. So you want to watch to see if we break above that 218 in the long run on Tesla, then we could possibly start having some more upside. If not, if we start to keep on rejecting that 218 area, we could start making lower lows and maybe even break that 198 over here and go lower. So let me know what you guys think about Tesla overall. The stock basically needs to find direction and it is in a sideways pattern. Overall, let's talk about the SPY, right? Main thing we're probably thinking about, hey, what's the overall direction of the SPY? Let's jump over towards the 1 year. 1 year is crossed up. We've been talking about that for a while right now. If you watch our last video, 1 year is crossed up over here, pushing up, and we are holding around this 380 or 381 zone, which was a previous resistance zone. So we need to break this 381 zone before we can continue to go up. RSI on the 1 year has the possibility to do it. Maybe we could even run up towards the 1 year SMA, which is sitting at 407. So let's see what overall happens. Right now, we are bullish on the grand scale of things, looking at that we're above that 1 year trade line over here, which is sitting around 369. So as long as we stay above that 369, we can continue a bullish trend. If not, we're going to have sways where we pull back and we go up, pull back and bounce. As long as we're above 369, the overall stock is deemed bullish. So that's what main outlook of the SPY is. So let's jump over towards the 5 year over here. 5 year has not crossed up, and the 5 year, we're just now trying to break that 5 year trade line. So let's see what overall happens. If this gets bullish as well, then I think SPY could possibly even run even higher. So the 5 year has not crossed over in a while, and especially with earnings season. Earnings is typically like football season for stocks, where we're expecting major moves from these companies. And if it's basically like a muted response, the market could take that as a positive. So we've seen a muted response from Tesla. We have Apple announcing this week, and Meta, which is part of the FANG sector. So we want to see what's going to overall happen. Overall, looking at SPY, let's jump over towards the 20-day. So before I go to the 20-day, you can see the 180-day looks like it wants to cross down. So we may get some type of pullback. We did sell off yesterday going into the bell. I did catch a nice short on that one, but this 380 zone was a major resistance zone before. You can see we hit 380 before earlier this month on the 5th, and we basically went from 380 to 348 off that rejection. So a lot of traders may be scared over here. So we got to see what's going to overall happen over here to see if we reject this zone and start to come down lower, or if we start to break it and go higher. But if we do come down lower, 20 days already crossed down. Our side has the opportunity for downside, so watch for the break of 376, which is the 180-day trade line, and then we can start basically getting into the zone around the 370s. So that's going to be it. Leave a like below, leave a comment. If you guys want to see more videos, definitely leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.